it's been a minute since I sat down and actually recorded a video of me, like, just talking. I was going to start vlogging months ago, like last year, but almost a year ago now that I think about it. Oh my God, time flies. But yeah, about a year ago, I was going to start vlogging and I had this like whole idea and I was so structured with it, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna start making videos about this, and I'm gonna start making videos about that, and they have to look like this and they have to sound like that. And I think because I got so like, I wanted the videos to look and sound a certain way, so much to a point where I just couldn't keep up with it, and I lost interest really quickly. And especially with being a mother, at the time my daughter wasn't even 1 yet, so it was difficult. It was difficult for me. It was challenging. It was more challenging trying to find the time to make the content that I had in mind. And so I lost interest. And I keep thinking about one thing that my mentor, Tania Bright, she had posted a couple of times saying, it was something along the lines of like, are you chasing somebody else's dream, or do you really want it, or are you chasing someone else's dream? Something along the lines of that. And I was like, every time she would say that, like, for some reason that would stick with me. And even though I kept trying to, almost like force this dream that I had, not to say that it wasn't doable, but I felt like because I had like started moving on a certain path, I felt like I needed to finish it. But the more I kept going, the more I was starting to lose interest, the more I was starting to realize, like, is this even really something I want to do, or am I just doing it because I see other people doing it, and because I see these people doing it, it makes it possible for me? I thought I was going to be a spiritual life coach. I thought I was going to be a reader, tarot reader. I thought I was going to be an energy healer. I thought I was going to be a Reiki therapist. So many things that I had in mind for myself. And it's interesting because all of those things I dabbled in. I did a little bit of these things. And I got to see myself in that position. So it's not like I had these thoughts and I just never got to them. I had these ideas and I would start them, and then I would realize, like, okay, I'm not even sure if I really want to do this. Not necessarily for myself, but like as a career or as a certain kind of hobby. Like with the tarot reading, with Reiki, energy healing, vlogging, like just, making a certain kind of content. Like I really just got to this point where I was like, okay, you know what? Let me reel it back real quick. And let me just be honest with myself and ask myself that same question that I kept seeing Tania post. Is this something that you really want? Is this really your dream? Or are you chasing someone else's dream? And yeah, I think I was just sticking to it just because. And so eventually I got to this flow where I was like, you know what? I really enjoy pulling cards. I really enjoy reading. I really enjoy energy work. I really enjoy just pressing record and just speaking my mind. Same with writing. I love to write. And I'm just going to do these things on my own time when I feel like it. And I'm going to let go of this belief that it all has to look a certain way or sound a certain way, just be a certain way. I had to really let go of that belief And it took me some time, but after time, I found my flow. And now I only pull cards for myself. Occasionally I'll pull cards for other people. And randomly, usually around like that October Halloween time when the veil is thin, that's usually when I feel called to like do like a short period of donation based readings. I really found that to be fun and also helpful for my community of people around me, for whoever feels called to it. So sometimes I'll do donation based readings, but most of the time I'm pulling cards for myself, specifically on Sundays, because that's usually when I will do most of my spiritual practices. But and that worked for me. And then with the vlogging, I started off years ago just like recording myself on Snapchat. Like I just was always having these thoughts in my mind. So I would be like, just press record, and I would just start talking. I'd be ranting, just rambling, going down a rabbit hole. And I know that a majority, like probably 90% of the people I have on my Snapchat either weren't really watching my snaps, or they would watch and be like, what the hell is this girl saying? But I didn't care, because I knew I would, for every like 10 people, there's always going to be like that one person that would like heart my story, or they would comment back and be like, Jam, I get you, or like, I understand this, or engage in a conversation with me. And it would always be that one person, whoever it was. It would keep me going and make me feel like, okay, maybe I'm not just talking to myself here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I started just doing that, just posting on Snap. And then eventually that's when I had the idea of the content creation. But then once I got into this whole vibe of like, it needs to look and sound a certain way, I was like, nope, ended that belief. And now I am really just trying to go for like an internet diary. Obviously, I will not be sharing every little detail of my personal life, as nobody does on the internet. But I already do have some videos on here. Not a lot, but I do have some. I do have a couple of audio recordings. That's also something I really enjoy doing. So if you do stumble upon this video and you want to check out those videos that I have from before, definitely do that. And if that's your jam, give it a like, show some love. I am a mom of a toddler who is currently pregnant with my second child. And, you know, I live an average life on the surface level. But spiritually, I feel very rich. And I always have these beautiful thoughts. Sometimes the thoughts that I have aren't so beautiful. And I just really want to be able to connect with other people in the online space, specifically women, more specifically moms, or women who would like to become a mother, or just want to get to know the lifestyle of a mom, or have friends that are moms, and, you know, really enjoy seeing the life of a mom. I just really want to be able to connect with other women who resonate with my lifestyle, or, you know, women who just want to be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think my life is cool, then we could totally be friends. Because even though I don't do a lot of things on a daily basis, I still find a way to have fun, you know? And even if it's just something as simple as like laying on my couch and staring at the sun coming in through the window with my frequencies, and I'm just meditating, you know, I could do that. Or I'm doing something actually eventful, like going roller skating, you know, or randomly hanging out with one of my friends. Like, I do live a life, but it's just not crazy. And I think, honestly, that's something that is, for me personally, is more enjoyable to watch. You know, just seeing how somebody moves on a daily basis and seeing just seeing them enjoy the simplicity of life. You know what I mean? So yeah, here I am. I'm doing this again. I'm going to say this on camera for myself and for anybody else who's watching this to hold me accountable. And if you hold me accountable, then you really love me. I want to commit to this for at least a year, because I think it'll be really cool to be able to like look back next year at my vlogs and be like, wow, I thought I was boring, but I actually live a pretty cool life. I actually have a lot of good things to say, great things to share, you know? So yeah, I'm going to do my best to commit to this. I'm going to do my best to be as transparent as I can be so that I can connect with other people in this space, and just share my life, share what I do, share what I'm into, share my life as a mom, as a woman, as a partner. Just share. And I think it's cool how so many people have that confidence to share their lives, because that's another thing that like kind of held me back from fully being myself in the online space. I had this fear of like, oh my gosh, like what are people gonna think of me, or like someone's always gonna have something to say about, you know, whatever I got in the background. I don't live in this beautiful luxurious apartment. Are people gonna have comments about that? Are people gonna have comments about the way I parent my kid or my life, whatever it is? I think that held me back a lot. But I think more deeply into it, and I'm like, I've given birth once and I'm about to do it again. And to be honest, if you've ever given birth before, I feel like that is the time where we are the most vulnerable, especially if you've given birth like in a hospital in front of strangers, which is something that I am most definitely going to touch base on throughout my vlogs here. But yeah, I have a lot that I would love to share and talk about and connect with. I think it would be cool to also collab with other mothers in the online space. But yeah, I'll definitely be sharing more. This is just kind of like my intro video. And I'll just be sharing what I got going on in my life. So if you've made it this far and you would love to see more of me and my life, definitely subscribe. Let's be friends. Comment. Let me get to know you. I think that would be a beautiful start to a beautiful community. So yeah, subscribe, like the video, share it if you want to. You don't have to. Definitely don't have to. No pressure. Thanks for tuning in.